Okay, so I didn't get audio in the first episode, I apologize for that, but I found out that Fraps can re-record over its own videos, so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk through this one, and I'll probably just upload it on Thanksgiving. Anyway, you can see me pointing to Civilization 4, and just kinda going through the menu, and now I'm talking about how I thought it was cool that you could like see the civilizations light up as it spread, but anyway, I think I'm going to hopefully click the single player button here sometime soon. Okay, so I decided to go for a custom game so I can decide who I am, maybe who my enemies are, what kind of map, how the land looks in it. Right there, I'm American. Brought my difficulty up. Now I went with the continents map. It makes the world kinda like Earth, but it's not quite Earth. And then I decided to make it a huge map, well, large and then huge, because huge has more players and more to conquer. Lower sea level means there'll be more land. Start in the ancient era. Game speed normal. And then there's just some stuff like city raising. And a city. You can actually, if your culture's high enough in a city, you can overwhelm a city that's nearby if you can like run their borders back and then overwhelm that city with your culture. So I like that one a lot because I usually end up getting quite a bit of culture. And just some other stuff. There, like the one city challenge. I only can have one city at a time. So going over those. And those are all the ways that you can win the game, and I decided to keep all of them. And I am actually in a Skype call with Matt right now. So he says hi. You could hear the noise. If he doesn't stop typing stuff though, I'm gonna sign out of Skype because you guys are gonna think it's your Skype going off, not mine. And I know how annoying I can be watching videos. So, that graphic you kinda see playing is, it shows like the evolution of Earth, and then at the bottom there's a tip, and now you can see that I can play a game.
Deep inside the brittle crust, massive forces waited to be unleashed.
And there we go. So I'm Washington. There's my starting warrior. And there are my starting settlers. They build cities and they start off in a good spot. That blue circle means it's a good spot to build a city. And I named it Luke City because I'm Luke and it's my city. And then I went with a worker because they can help upgrade. You know, I just realized that it started growing a little bit at the beginning until I chose the worker. The top bar in that Luke City thing shows how close it is to growing to the next population size. And if you see it filling up with a partially transparent line, then that means it's on its way to growing. And on the bottom you can see what it's producing, and the partially transparent line shows how much production it's gonna make. So then my warrior went over a village right there, and it got me a scout, and scouts move faster and they have a better line of sight than other creatures, and so you can see what's in my outskirts, and by clicking on different icons, I can get different stuff to happen with my city. So I decided to choose that one because it had the best production kind of feel.
The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones.
So there's research, what I'm looking at right there. And with that research I can do various stuff, unlock new units, new buildings, and the borders of that city expanded because it became culturally up another level. You can see in the bottom leftish corner, it's a purple thing. In the middle left you can see a list of the buildings. In the upper left you can see my country's view towards like money and such. So now I'm changing it so I get a little bit of money each turn. And that red button ends my turn, so other people can go. And I just have my warriors and scouts scouting. You can see the scout kinda go into the upper left because they get real far away. So that shows my cities. That shows kind of my money economy thing. That shows my laws, more or less. It shows people I've met. That's the military advisor. That is a technology advisor. It's also a tech tree. There's what your religion is. I clicked that one twice. There's how close you are to certain victories. And there's a score, kind of demographics where your country ranks in various things, best cities in the world, and some stats. So let's go ahead and continue. And I actually realized that we got a 5th subscriber today. So thank you for subscribing. I don't remember your name, but thanks. Anyway, so there I showed you how far my scout was going. And into the next turn. It's kind of unexciting really in the beginning, but the games get better, or the quality of the video gets better. So now I've met another country, Catherine the Great of Russia, and I can either click an option that says go to war or let's be peaceful, and I went with peaceful because you can see she has more points than me now in the bottom rightish area. And you can see my scouts killing some wolves. My warriors haven't yet seen combat. Okay. So he's just continually advancing as they are. So now I saw that hut and I sent the warrior after it because huts tend to be valuable. And now my scouts found a village themselves, and that got me a new settler. And I wanted to bring them in towards my country because it's good to have stuff near your country. And then the other village gave me some gold, so you can see my gold increased in the upper left corner. And now I'm going to buy another worker because, like I said, they can build improvements. So I originally sent them up there, even though they have a build improvement button that will just let them do everything automatically, which is generally easier to manage. And there.
What's the plan?
So now I have him. Well, someone founded a religion, and that's what that noise was. But there are some wolves up there. I'm kind of worried about coming down here. But I started a religion, and I'm talking about getting my warrior over there to fight them. Alright, no, those workers were building a farm. I'm not talking about a religion.
Tell me what to do.
It's kind of weird going back over something you've already recorded because you like have a general idea of what's going to happen, but they don't always go in the order you think.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kine, the flocks of thy sheep.
So animal husbandry, you can kind of see the pigs where I sent my warriors a few turns earlier. I can now build something there and gather a benefit from them once they enter my territory. but continuing, my settlers have finally arrived, and there are some panthers right behind them, so I want them to get that city up pretty soon, because wild animals won't attack cities, they'll just attack people. Like warriors, settlers, and workers, and since settlers and workers can't defend themselves, it's kinda hard. So I named that city Waterworld because it's on the coast, and I get them working on a work or two. Okay. So I think you can see that I'm catching up to Catherine now. And since I put my workers on auto improvement, they decided to build something over there instead. And another village got me another amount of gold. So they're just doing what I say. And they just keep working on what they were doing. And now there's a farm there, and I believe I had a resource there of corn. Yeah, so there was corn where they were building that farm, and I went ahead and harvested it, which gave me some, well, it gives me gives my country benefits like health-wise and such. So they killed the wolves, and now my scouts just continually going up the coast. That swampy looking area was a rice plain, so now the panthers attacked me, and I killed the panthers.
Hath not the potter power over the clay to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
So if your unit gets enough experience, you can upgrade it, and there's like a hill fighting experience, a forest fighting experience, and a basic combat experience, and I went for the basic combat because it provides a 10% bonus in all situations. The hill provides 20% bonus in hill combat, and the forest provides 20% bonus in forest combat. So they're still not growing, and I tried to get them some food by clicking where the farm was, because farms produce more food than just empty grassland. But it still wasn't growing. Instead it was going to a surplus on the worker. I didn't know why that was happening. And there are some various things that you can devote your city to, like food, production, gold, research, getting great people, or avoiding growing. And now, by clicking that little plus, I accidentally brought my citizen off of work, and then I put him back. So you can see that guy kinda took a beating from the panthers, but he eventually killed them. So he's wounded now, so I went ahead and put him on a healing mode, so he'll heal slowly and eventually get back up to full strength. And they heal faster if they're in your own territory. So building another worker. And this time I just put him right onto the build improvements section, and you can see a bit of a line going from the farm into the city and then out of the city, and that is a road. Your troops move faster over roads, and then you can, if you connect your cities with a road, they can trade resources. But really, like corn, those cities would get access to the corn. And now there's another farm, but that city still isn't growing in population. And now my workers are working on building a road between the two cities so that they can transfer resources. And you can see that I didn't really mention this earlier, but I met 2 other civilizations, and I chose the peaceful option for each. But I was above them both. But I am above them both, so if it came down to it, I probably would be able to get enough of an army to kill them, but there's no need for war right now. It would cripple my country. And you can see that I'm only a couple of points behind Catherine now, too. So proceeding. I got a new tech, and now I'm gonna work on a granary in that city. It only costs 20 there because they have access to more production, I guess, than the other one, and you can actually see that that city's growing a little bit each
Do
turn.
not throw the arrow which will return against you.
And so they're just gonna continue exploring the unexplored. And barbarians will eventually set up cities. And it's when you get into barbarian countries that you have some problems. So they just said that those two cities had been connected, and how I benefited from that. So now two of the workers are building cottages, which will turn into hamlets and then towns and then like cities. No, not quite, but something like that. And they raise the population and money, and maybe even food, I'm not sure. Or perhaps it was production. But they're useful. So then I just continued scouting out some unknown places, and I'm on top now, if you hadn't noticed. It's good to be on top. I think I'm only a couple of points ahead. It's not the highest def video, so I can't make everything out perfectly. But just this part of the turns get kinda boring, because it's like just scouting, not building anything.
Their foes, not their friends, that cities learn the lesson of building high walls.
So mysticism kinda gives me cultural benefits, so I chose that one. It's the research. And now you can see the built cottages, and they have more food. Or I guess they have the same food, but they have gold now too. And my other worker went ahead and built a road up through there. And now they're working on some stuff down in this city. As there's... Now I find some panthers that I kinda wanna kill. So, another turnover. The panthers are gone. I'm a little bit worried about that. Oh, and then... No, never mind. Okay, so the panthers found me. And then I killed the panthers, but now they're wounded, so I have to heal them again. And I got some workers from a village up there. So now they're way above my city. So I need to bring them all the way back down to it, and hope they don't die. Because there will be barbarians in the middle area.
Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all the idea of God.
So they're making some farms and some roads up here. The cottage now. Finally, the city's still not growing. I don't know why it wasn't growing, it just wasn't growing. And now I'm trying to click onto the city, but the worker was right there, so I accidentally kept clicking it. So then I come over here and look at how that's going, and you can see one of those cottages turned into a hamlet, but that they are actually still growing. I don't know how they were still growing, and I think I had a farm up there too, with some roads through it all. You can build a road everywhere where you have an upgrade. And in the fifth one they take money to upkeep, but in this one they don't. So once again, Luke City's borders expanded because of culture. And there's a list of the greatest civilizations. There are several lists of the greatest civilizations, I'm not sure. I think they mean different things each time. Because, like, Osaka and Tokugawa are both below me points-wise, but they were on that list, I believe. I know Osaka was. So now I realize that Luke City's actually growing, finally. And that was a good feeling of relief. But everything's gonna take a while to produce for a bit. So I went for a granary because I could get some more food. And now it's saying that that city's undefended and not near my capital. Or any other soldiers, so they're probably exposed. And then that guy keeps progressing onward. And there are some panthers. And I decide to fight the panthers. And then I kill the panthers, but once again they get wounded. And since they attack, they can't really heal this turn. And now I see some diamond up there that I kind of want access to because it provides happiness for your citizens and other benefits. So now I can upgrade him again. And there's some more stuff. I don't know all of them exactly. So now I'm like, you know what, I have the spare settler. And I know it's quite a long distance away, but I'm gonna go ahead and try and get some diamonds. So, knowing that the settler will be going through barbarian territory without anyone to escort him, I send him up. I mean, there's a warrior nearby if he gets in trouble. I can kind of run around and fight.
It is entirely seemly for a young man killed in battle to lie mangled by the bronze spear.
So now I have access to a new law, which I implemented, which put my country into anarchy for a while. So they just continue upward. And the anarchy succeeded, so the people are happy. And now Luke City is a size 2. And I meet another country of the Mongolians, and I decide to be peaceful with them. But you can see their name, their country, and then how they feel about you. So, proceeding, you can, in the upper right corner, you can also see what time it is for me, and then what year it is. Okay, so now I'm right in the middle of the diamonds, and I just go ahead and end my turn. So now I adventure upward some more just to see how much diamond there is. And Judaism has been founded in a country that I am yet to discover. And I see that there's no more diamond up there, but there are some pigs. People like pork usually. Okay, so you can see I'm kind of taking off from the pack. Osaka is staying close, but everyone else is kind of falling back now. And now I see a Japanese city sprung up. And I'm kind of unhappy about that because that means they'll probably get those diamonds before I do. So I go ahead and decide, oh, I'm going to attack the warrior. And now Luke City's getting pretty big. And so they're harvesting more. And I realize that I'm still on growth. So I go ahead and put it on production, but it went with growth anyway. So then I see, like, it didn't do anything. And at the time I didn't realize it was because I was on growth still, but... So now I decide, let's go ahead and attack these guys. And that was not a good result. Like, my guys just fell apart eventually. So now I have a settler heading to an area where an enemy warrior is unprotected. So that was not a good situation. But I'm not going to say whether it worked out or not. That's for you guys to find out in the next few minutes. So they're continuing forward. They're almost at the diamonds right now. I'm kind of scared to build a city because I know that warrior is around and he will attack the city. But I'm like, so where's a good spot to build a city? Oh, there's no good spot up here. And that was a problem because if there's not a blue circle, it means it's not really an optimal spot to build a city. And now I've advanced to the classical era from the ancient one. And go ahead and choose a research, and I decide to put some walls up around Luke City. I could choose some barracks and that would start all my units off with a one level upgrade, so then I walk them right next to the barbarian, my settlers, and it's like, I wish there was an undo, because you can see that they got annihilated. And now it's saying I've trained my first unit in Luke City, which was a warrior. I think I chose that before the walls because I need the military. And now I believe I go for the walls. The obelisk provides culture, but I was gonna end up having it obsoleted soon anyway. So I just went ahead and dug them into the city. And you can see that icon in the upper left corner. That means Waterworld built a granary. And since I clicked the thing that said build an archer next opportunity, they're gonna start building an archer now. And now my scout finds a wounded warrior who kills both of them. So I've lost 3 units in the past couple of turns in all my expeditions to the north. So the north is not a friendly place for me anymore. But you can see the area around Luke City springing up, and except for unhappiness, the city became crowded and there wasn't enough happiness. See, the diamonds would have helped abate that, but since I didn't get the diamonds, it didn't work. But stuff's still getting done. And now, Matt's probably wondering how long this episode is. He says he's got to go. And so wait. Oh. So he left. He's gone forever. We can celebrate now. And now she wants open borders, so like my military can pass through her country and her military can pass through mine. And now Luke City's also sick because there's too much crowding, just some generally unhealthy stuff and not enough health. So I just continue progressing because eventually I will get stuff that will help out with that. But all of a sudden I'm like, what? Luke City's just like melting down. And I didn't really have access to stuff that would raise the health at the time. So I went for sailing because, you know, it's important to be able to get your boats and navy out. And I've discovered iron right there. So my workers started building an iron mine in order to get that into my city. You can see just a regular mine off to the right, and those provide production bonuses. So I have the archer in that city now. So I decided to build a workboat so I can get stuff off the side. And that pop-up said 500,000 people live in my city. So now it's like your country's small, build a settler in it. And I'm like, well, if you hadn't killed it, we wouldn't be having this problem. But so Luke City continues growing despite its problems.
You can't direct the wind, but you
And I'm like, you know, I should probably have writing in my country by now. Because you can see the year's 850 BC. So I'm closing in on 80 and I don't even have a writing. But and whenever they clear those forests, it provides production benefits. So since my city was like surrounded by them, I got a lot of production benefit. So I decided to go open borders with Osaka too. And then I end my turn. Except it lags a little bit when I end the turn. Now I'm like, you know, this episode's probably going on too long. So thanks for watching. Please leave a like or subscribe. And goodbye.